Hi, and welcome to What's the Tea in L&E. I'm Leah, and today I'm here with Ross Broudy, my colleague. Ross is a part of our cyber and privacy team. He's also an adjunct professor at William & Mary. Ross, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Today, I brought Ross on because I want him to talk about employee use of AI, or shadow AI, as he's going to explain it, and then what happens when there's an actual cyber breach because of employee misuse of AI. So, Ross, what kind of AI should we be concerned about in the workplace?
So right now, what we're seeing on the ground, the biggest issue with employee use of AI is what we call shadow AI. Some people have probably heard of shadow IT, but shadow AI in this context is when an employee uses artificial intelligence tools without any sort of approval. They're using the tools in secret. A really common example is employees for the past few years have been using ChatGPT for almost anything.
We've all heard about ChatGPT, Google AI, Gemini, ChatGPT.
Absolutely, and so they're using these tools, and the organization hasn't necessarily approved the tool or not. And so employees can sort of get into hot water depending on what type of information they are sharing with the particular AI tool. So, for example, social security numbers or confidential information or trade secrets can be extremely problematic when that type of information is actually shared with an AI tool, especially a third-party AI tool.
So, I mean, we see it a lot where an employee maybe takes a draft email, puts it in ChatGPT and says, can you make this look a little more professional and clean this up for me? And maybe not realizing that the email might contain sensitive information. Do we have a real understanding of the gravity of how many employees are really using shadow AI?
It is a huge percentage of employees that are probably using shadow AI. Again, it just depends on the organization. Typically, organizations that have AI governance policies that have sort of a clear picture of what employees can or cannot do will have less shadow AI. But it can really be problematic in the example you gave of an email. Well, what if the client is maybe a government client or another business, and there's confidential information that's being shared with the AI model? Well, the employee using the shadow AI tool could actually put their company in breach of contract, a confidentiality term. So regardless of what data breach reporting obligations there may be, it could just be a simple breach of contract.
Wow. So the consequences of misuse of AI are not just a data breach or a privacy breach, but even the company facing liability with another entity because of shared confidential information. Tell me, what does an actual breach look like? Like, if I'm sitting here and we've got a breach happening, what does that look like? I just don't understand it.
So data breaches or privacy breaches can take all sorts of shapes. They can be very obvious, such as a ransomware incident, where a bad guy might they hack into a computer system, and then they actually will post a picture saying, pay me $10 million, otherwise we're going to lock your entire company out.
So actually asking for ransom, this comes up.
All the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ransomware is a very obvious type, but then there can be very subtle types, like let's take a wire transfer, for example. Let's say a wire transfer goes out, you've been sent wire instructions that were turned out to be fraudulent. You could get a call weeks later from another business saying, hey, where's the money? And so you might not find out for a long time. And so what we're finding with AI, and as illuminated by a recent IBM survey, is that when shadow AI is actually used or involved in a data breach, it not only increases the cost on average by IBM surveyed $670,000, but it also involves more personally identifiable information, more intellectual property exposed, and takes far longer to remediate.
Wow. All right, so the consequences are huge. Join us next time as we talk about AI governance and workplace policies that can better protect your organization with shadow AI.